Okay, so last night I came up with this crazy theory, and I don't know why I hadn't thought about this before. Like, I had all the connections there, but I was rereading through Dressrosa, and I got to that part where the Tuntaras explain about, the old king Don Quixote, and how after the 100-Year Void, then King Riku appeared. And to me, for some reason, for the first time, it was strange that they knew absolutely zero information about what happened during the Void Century to their people. And as I thought about it, the more I started questioning this idea of how the Void Century, came into existence, came into being. How did everyone forget what happened for 100 years? And yet, I know you can burn books and you can burn history and you can prosecute historians and kill people who reveal it or kill people who have even listened to the history afterwards, but it's so difficult to just destroy that information outright. Remember, what the happenings of the Void Century were so world altering that they created the world government. 20 whole kingdoms joined into an alliance for some reason and became part of the world government. Yes, you can get to some extent to erase certain things about history from burning books and that, but you can't really destroy like oral tradition or people's memories just from doing that. I mean, for example, the Nazis burned books, but it's not like Jewish tradition was lost. Or maybe just, you could say like they didn't burn enough books, so you burned every book, Jewish tradition would be lost. But that's not true, because the people who read them could rewrite them, right? And so on, or just tell people and, continue the oral tradition of saying what happened. But people don't remember anything about those 100 years. The Dontatas say it themselves. They don't know what happened in that 100-year void. They literally say like, you know what, blank. We don't know what happened. It's almost as if you had amnesia for that part. And so that made me think, is there some other force here at play that made everyone forget what happened in the Void Century? And it wasn't just, killings, cleansings, and burnings of information. Well, let's first think in a small scale. Is there any power in the story that has the ability to erase someone's history? Yes. The memory fruit that Pudding has. It's an ability that can literally erase memories. And what if, I'm just spitballing here, a strong enough user of that fruit with an awakening potentially could erase the memories of the entire world, or at least the entire relevant world. So like the whole ancient kingdom and other people from within the countries of the world government. Hey, I don't care. Anyone who shouldn't have information, that information was erased from them. And to me, that just makes so much more sense because it's so difficult to erase everyone's memories, the world's memories. It'd be like trying to make people forget about World War II. And maybe that's an unfair comparison since there's like much better communications technology in the 1940s, but we think that the ancient kingdom was a technological kingdom. But even if that isn't, even if they didn't have this great technology and means for communication, it'd be like erasing the Crusades. You can't erase the Crusades from history. They were really, really important and they affected a really, really large amount of people. And the only way to absolutely like make sure that any record of the Crusades is destroyed is to completely murder every single person that's ever heard of it. And to that point, that would be like killing all of Europe and like most of Africa and Asia. And so, therefore, I think that it's almost certain that there had to be some special power in deleting these memories. However it was, my best guess is Pudding's fruit. But before we can get into what this can mean for the future of the story, I want to talk about memories and why they are so important in One Piece. Here, I'm going to call back to a video I did about Orangetown. And if you haven't read Orangetown, actually I recommend that you read it for yourself because it's a really important arc that people forget. It's the arc that's all about treasure, and the key theme here is what is treasure, right? Is it gold and silver like Nami and Buggy believe, or is it, a hat or a pet shop or a town like Luffy, the dog, I think Chocho is his name, I forget, and Boodle, the mayor of the town, believe. And the answer to the story is that real treasure is linked to fond memories of the people we like. The hat itself isn't special. At least I don't think it is, or more accurately, I hope it isn't. But as far as we know, the hat isn't special in and of itself. Instead, what's special about the hat are the fond memories that Luffy has of Shanks. That's why the heart is so important, because it represents a promise between Luffy and Shanks, his mentor, and, his standard for what a pirate is. So if you don't want to watch my video on Orange Town, or you want to read the arc, just take it for granted, you can verify, but you can also feel free to trust me that memories are in fact something that Oda explores as a treasure. And now I want to go into what the first ending song of One Piece is. The song called Memories. One so important that it's intrinsic to the series, which was shown when in the anime Roger found the One Piece. That was the song that was playing, Memories, because the greatest treasure, the One Piece, has to do with the fond memories of people. As I said, if you want to know more about treasure and memories and why they're so intrinsically linked, then I recommend you watch that video in Orange Town. It also says where I expect the One Piece to be, which I think the Gaimon chapter actually reveals. But that's a whole different thing. For now, let's keep going with the discussion of the memory fruit. Now, what could this mean for the story? Well, a lot of people were saying about how they felt that Pudding's memory fruit didn't meet her potential in Whole Cake Island. And I agree to an extent. I mean, Pudding wasn't an antagonist, so it's not that important that she, displayed the whole capabilities of her fruit. But not only does she have importance because of this fruit, which is really powerful, but also she has importance for being someone who has the potential for reading the poneglyphs. We don't know much about the three-eyed race yet, where they could possibly live, how many of them are even still left alive. But to me, the discussion here about Pudding is heavy foreshadowing that she will awaken to these powers and that she should be relevant again in this context in the story. So I've had a long-held belief that somehow Pudding will get captured by Blackbeard and get taken to Laughdale in a sort of race for the One Piece with Luffy. And that's neither here nor there, but that's my potential scenario for how Pudding might get put towards the ending of the story. I think a lot of Sanji fans, we also think that Pudding and Sanji's relationship is going to come back to the forefront at some point, and this could also tie into that. But the important thing here is that if my theory about the memory fruit being used to make people forget during the Void Century is true for, the creation of the world government, then I think it's interesting to think, well, if it does have such a power and such a high and long range, then could it be used by Pudding in the current storyline, well, future storyline at this point? And my belief is actually yes. And I've come up with one scenario that to me seems cool, and I just wanted to throw it out there. I mean, by no means is this a completely airtight theory, but I think that a cool way for this power to be used is to make people forget that the Straw Hat Pirates saved the world. Because Luffy doesn't want to be a hero. He didn't go out trying to save people or go this game. If he saves people, it's because he cares about them. He doesn't need any credit for saving people. He never boasts about beating Crocodile. He never boasts about beating Lucci. He just did what he did for his friends, and that's what makes Luffy so special. Because he's not someone who wants to be a big deal, as he says. And he'd rather not have, all the people of the world constantly giving him thanks or cheers for whatever reason for freeing the world. So I think that this could be an actual really, really cool way to have them save the world, but really they're still pirates, they're still criminals, and no one's going to be able to change how they choose to live their lives. I think there's a lot of potential for this theory to be true, but again, it's not airtight. I do think it harkens back to Alabasta, for instance, where they did defeat Crocodile and save the world. The country, but in the end no one knew that they did it. No one knew about their secret battle, and in my opinion that just makes it cooler, right? Because we've seen a million times the hero saving everyone and then the cheer of oh, our hero, let's celebrate them, yada yada yada. but I just think that a story where they saved the world not for, popularity or personal gain, but because they just did it for their friends and for the people they love, then that would be a great twist about what being a hero really is about. That it's not about credit, it's not about admiration, it's just about, doing good for the people that you love. And if you love everyone, then you do good for everyone. With that said, let me know what you think about this theory. Like, do you think that Pudding's fruit was used to create the 100-year void? Do you think there was some other means? Do you think they just killed people? I think it's a combination of all of these, but let me know if you have any other ideas regarding that. And also let me know if you think Pudding is going to play a role in the future of the story, if the three-eyed thing, being able to read the poneglyphs, and the memory fruit are going to have anything to do with the ending of the story or finding the One Piece and stuff. And also tell me that if the memory fruit does have this really wide-reaching power, then what else do you think could be done in the story with this power? Please comment, like, and subscribe to join the will of D in that subscribed button. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace!